gas tax holiday. What is this? So there's so many taxes. Like, people don't realize how much we're taxed. We're taxed on everything. It's your income and what you buy and sales tax. There's a lot of taxes. That's why at the end of the year, you only take home like 50% of what you make. Okay? Because in some states you don't have income tax, thank God. But if you live in something like California, you've got your federal tax, you've got your state tax, income tax, you've got your sales tax, you've got your everything. You got so many taxes, right? Some of it comes out on your check. That's how they got it, right? To where people would not riot. It's like, instead of taking 50% out of your paycheck, we'll just tax you and then tax what you buy, so it looks like you're not losing as much as it generally is, right? So here's the thing. The federal gas tax is 18 cents per gallon on average. When the average gas is over $5 a gallon, it's about just over 3%. Which doesn't change a fucking thing. The only people that even notice it will be people that drive for Uber, but they can offset that with fucking, whatever, with their Get Upside app or whatever they use. Now, why are they pushing for a gas tax holiday? Because administrations, Biden, just like Trump, just like Obama, just like Bush, just like everybody, will never tackle a problem. They will always say, if something good in the world happens, it's because of them. If something bad in the world happens, it's because of someone else. In this case, everything is Putin's tax hike. Everything in the world that's gone up is because of Putin. Now, I'm not saying the Ukrainian war and conflict did not cause a lot of constraints when it comes to supply chains and prices of energy and food and stuff. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's a limit. But hey, it's easy to go. So they want to do a gas tax holiday where they suspend the federal tax of 18 cents a gallon, which actually accounts for nothing. But here's the kicker before anybody goes, see, they care about us, for 3 months. And by the time this goes to the floor, guess when that expires if it does pass? Expires right after the midterms. So it's a complete political thing. Every political campaign and party and administration does this. So I'm not calling out him. He's just the one. If this was Trump, I'd be calling him the same out. I'd just calling him out. Not only that, but it's Putin's fault, it's the oil company's fault, and now it's the gas stations. So he got up yesterday or the day before and said, I think it was yesterday, and said, hey, gas stations, understand what's going on in the world. It's a crisis going on right now. Bring down your prices to where people can afford it. Now, this is where it gets tricky, and I'm going to kind of defer a lot of this. But there is, how do I put this in an apolitical way? There is always concerns about government oversight and overreach. And some people think the government should run everything, right? For example, the communism, right? Some people think government should run nothing, which is like anarchy, right? Some people think that the people should run it, which is socialism, but whatever. That's the basic principles. It's not how it works in practice, but that's the basic principles. So who runs it doesn't really matter. It's all people and it's shit. But the concern for a lot of people is that if the government can tell private businesses what to set prices for things at, then you no longer have what's called a free market. And in some cases, you want the government to do it, right? It's like, hey, listen, people need to fucking drive. And are these companies exploiting people? Is this price gouging? But at the same time, if you're a business owner or you're trying to go into business or you sell things or you want, you want competition, you're like, I hate the fact that these guys are doing it, but I'm afraid of the government coming in and being able to regulate what private businesses can charge, because if they do it here, then we open the floodgates to everybody else. And the next thing you know, everything becomes government controlled and government owned, and then it turns to shit, right? So there's always sides to each argument. And a lot of times people say, well, this one should be an exception. But then a lot of times, historically, we've seen governments get an inch and they take a mile, right? And that's where the concern is. So when he called that out yesterday, people were like, hey, man, there's other things you can do, right? Like you can make it easier for oil companies to drill. You can lower, tariffs on oil. You can open our strategic reserves. You can do a lot of things. And then other people are saying, no, we need to stop these companies from taking advantage of the situation. So there's different ways of looking at this, and I'm not saying either side is wrong. I'm just letting you know, like, why we see criticisms on both sides. Then the thing this morning is, oh shit, remember Obama? He was asked about a gas tax holiday, and you know what his answer was? They're bullshit. Because we're going to lower the 18-cent gas tax, and then the companies are just going to raise their prices by 18 cents to offset it. So if anything, the companies just make even more money. The slippery slope fallacy is used because people fall for bullshit arguments. No. You're so caught up in the politics of it that you're considering that. Okay, here's the thing. You have a girlfriend and she goes out with her friends and you're cool with it. You don't bother. You don't go on her phone or anything like that. Next thing you know, you see somebody says, hey man, I saw your girl making out with a dude. Nah, I don't believe it. Then a Snapchat shows up of her making out with a dude at a club. It's okay. It's a one-time thing. She doesn't mean it. I know her. She's there. I'm not going to confront her. I'm not going to deal with it. If I do, I'll be like, hey, you know, was that true? Whatever. Oh my God, I was so drunk. Yeah, I figured. Just be careful next time. Oh my God? He didn't even give a shit? Yeah, she's going to be like, oh my God, I feel so stupid. I'll never do it again. Thank you so much. No, it's, well, I got away with that. All right, soy boy. Let's see what I can get away with next. All right. Or opposite. I don't know. So all I'm trying to get at is that there is obviously two sides. And I'm literally giving you both sides in a very, very direct manner. One side is saying, I don't want government overreach. And the other side is, this isn't about government overreach. This is about people being exploited in a time of need. And the only person who can do, people who can do anything about it are the government. So both sides have a very valid argument here. And this is where we're at right now. 18 cents a gallon right now is not going to do much except for one thing. Going into midterms, the political talking point of, we helped, gas prices have been falling, gas is back under $5 per gallon. This is what the gas tax holiday does for 3 months. And in a very politically contested, a very heated contested election cycle, these are called talking points. Now, I'm not saying don't do it because it's pointless. No, fuck it. If you can help people and somehow the oil companies don't raise prices, then great, do it. I don't care if you're doing it for political grandstanding if it helps people out. Cool. But there's a reason why they only want it for a short period of time. They don't care about us, guys. I only want to hear the argument of my side. Oh, well, I'm sure there's somebody out there for you, whatever side you're on.